Hello and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk ETC. So we're gonna have video today so you could see us as we speak, so you're not just going to hear us, if you're listening on YouTube, not if you're on listening to us from iTunes. And today I have Paisco with me, and he's been on before, and on a previous show he was discussing the latest happenings in ETC, and that show got that went over well. People liked that, so we invited him on again, and he's going to try to come on more regularly to keep us updated on what's happening in the world of Ethereum Classic. So welcome, Paisco.
Hey, thanks for having me again. This is probably my third or fourth time on Let's Talk ETC.
Yeah, you're definitely a regular, important member of the community. So now I look at the Reddit for ETC news, and I know that there's other sources. There's etc.today, and I don't know what all the sources are that you pay attention to, but we appreciate you curating all of the materials and giving us the condensed version. So so why don't we jump right into it? So what are some things that are interesting that we should know about or would like to know about?
So there's been basically just a lot happening. I guess I'm just going to start. I'm not going to do them in any particular order. I'm just going to do them kind of chronologically from basically the end of February to today.
Okay.
And so one of the first things is right at the end of February, ETC Dev just hired a new designer. His name is Richard Schumann.
Okay.
Going to be working on some UI and UX things for a bunch of their projects that are under the Emerald umbrella.
Okay.
And what that basically means is that he'll be helping to make their programs more user friendly, which Emerald Wallet actually already is highly user friendly, and I really like it. And two, just make it even prettier.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so it's great to see them hiring somebody to focus on that stuff. We've also been branching out the community a bit, so we added a couple new Telegram groups. Basically, if you wanted alternative places to talk, there's a couple new Telegram places, and one also in Italian. If Italian's your language of choice, you now don't have to put up with English Telegram groups.
So Telegram, just to be clear, Telegram, if I'm not mistaken, that's it's like a chat room, kind of like Slack and Discord, but it's somehow high security or something like that. Am I understanding that correctly?
Telegram is it's really popular for a lot of people in crypto, where you can just talk about your different cryptocurrencies just in a different way. It's rather than Discord or Slack where you'll have different rooms for everything. Everybody's kind of just thrown into one room. So it's a very active, rapid type of conversation, very unstructured.
And isn't everything encrypted? The whole application?
I don't know if it's for all the groups, but yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So now we have the Telegram, we have Discord, and so so that people know, when would they want to use the Slack or the Discord channels, and when would they want to use or should use the Telegram? Is there a reason to pick one over the other?
I don't know. That's up to them. To me, I would probably use Telegram if I wanted some real rapid conversation. I'd use Discord if I wanted something immediate but a little more structured. Everything's in its nice categories. I'd use the forums if I wanted to have some long-term important conversations, and then I'd use probably GitHub if I wanted to talk about actual development. So,
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to talk about ETC, and then I'd use the subreddit for regular daily news.
Right. Now, and is there a bridge between the Discord, Slack, and Telegram, or are they separate walled gardens?
No, those are separate.
Okay. Good to know. All right. And so plenty of communications avenues. All
Yeah,
right.
that's the smallest of the information of the stuff that's happened in ETC. So
Okay. And
I guess
then
it's good to start with that.
yeah, and then the UI designer, that was great. I don't know why, but when I make a website, it's I mean, I can tell when somebody that has talent makes a website. I can do the programming, the HTML, but the design, I have a lot of respect for those people. Of course, Apple, of course, is Steve Jobs is known for that, and I've always admired that, and I don't know how they do it. I'd like to learn more. And I could imagine developers maybe not making the best UI, and then so having a designer come in and doing that last little bit of polish, I think can be very important. Yes, there was
Oh
even
yeah,
some
absolutely.
talk. I've heard rumblings about that in general, blockchain applications need to improve the user experience, that it's still too hard for the general public. It's getting better, but yeah, so anything that can help in that area, I think would be much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. All right. And so what else is going on?
We had a board of advisors join the ETC Cooperative.
Uh-huh.
So that includes a lot of very familiar faces in the community. Elaine U, Igor Adam, I'm going to butcher his last name,
Uh-huh.
Artemanov, Charles Hoskinson, Barry Silbert, and James Woe.
Uh-huh.
So they've all been very active in cryptocurrencies in general and particular ETC. The name James Woe people may not have heard of. He's based out of China, so he's far more active over there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's great to see the ETC cooperative is kind of branching out, and I think we're going to see a lot more nice things coming out of them.
Okay, for people that don't know, Elaine and Igor are associated with ETC Dev, and
Mhm.
Charles Hoskinson is associated with IOHK. And the ETC Cooperative is an outgrowth of Grayscale, if I'm not mistaken, to promote Ethereum Classic.
Yeah, that's correct.
So they've been providing funding and other resources. And so, what do you know specifically what the uh, job description of this board is, or what they're gonna do?
I think they're mostly just serving in an advisory capacity. I know there's going to be some more announcements for personnel for the ETC co-op in
Okay,
the coming weeks. So
okay,
looking forward to that.
all right. Yeah, we'll definitely see what's going on with them. All right, very good. And so, yeah, and we've got what else is going on?
We're in our final testing phases for the community fund. So that's basically this fund long ago received a bunch of donations, and it was controlled by Bidnovosti, who ended up, kind of taking a step back from ETC.
Uh-huh.
But it's a good amount of money that can be very usefully, deployed to improve a lot of ETC things, maybe fund some projects that need funding. And so there's just a couple little I's to dot and T's to cross, and then we're going to be able to launch the community funds, which will have about 16,000 ETC in it that we can
Okay.
put towards things. So we've kind of spent a few months auditing a multi-sig, making sure we get our deployment and everything right.
Okay.
And yeah, now we're almost ready to start with that. And that kind of ties into something you can see on the forums now, where we have a section called ecosystem proposals. It's
Uh-huh.
actually been there since the end of last year. Now it's a little more structured, where there's a template, and if you have a proposal that you either need funding or resources for in order to do something that benefits ETC, then you can provide it there, and we'll review it and either say yes or no, or maybe you need to change this. And yeah, we're getting a good deal of funding for ETC in general, so I'm actually really excited about that.
Oh, yes, very cool. And so you're involved with that, right?
Yeah,
So
me and five others are basically the signers on it, so we have to do the approvals.
all right, so then we all have to be nice to you then if we want some funding for anything ETC related.
I would love people to be nice to me on the internet, but that is not a requirement. I'm sure it helps,
Uh-huh.
since we're all human, but no, that's not a. Please don't suck up to me on the Discord. I will trust you less, and I will not approve it.
All right. Now, a lot of people like to be anonymous, right? Like Dexaran and
Mhm.
Bitnavasti. So, what if somebody wants to stay anonymous? Can they still? I'm just curious. Can they apply for funding, or do they need to give their life story and their address and everything as well?
For the community fund, I think being anonymous or pseudonymous is fine right now. I don't see any issue with it.
Okay.
That may be something we always have to consider, but I don't really see an issue at the moment now.
Okay, so then if I annoyed you, I could simply reapply right under a pseudonym and hide my identity. So and then I could keep making new identities. Anyways, okay, gotcha. All right.
Well, yeah, you could, but I mean, if it Wikipedia actually has a process like that where they say, "Oh, if we ban you, that's okay. You can avoid the ban. Just come back, change your name, and change your attitude."
Okay.
And so, yeah, if you wanted to do that and you came back with a new name and a better attitude, then that's absolutely fine.
All right, gotcha. Okay, good to know. I'll remember that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Yeah, so beyond that, we've got basically Centra Card added ETC as one of its spendable cryptocurrencies on its debit cards.
Uh-huh.
So you could use ETC in stores if you want. I'm not personally endorsing Centra Card, but I think that's pretty neat.
Mhm.
I read briefly about it, and yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not, so I know that a lot of people, when they first learn about cryptocurrencies, if they get cryptocurrencies, a lot of people want to immediately convert it back into fiat currency because they're nervous about the price fluctuating.
Yeah.
Um, and so these credit cards somehow make merchants happy because from their end, it looks like there's no cryptocurrency involved.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would like to learn more of that. I'm not sure how they, um, on the conversion, how that works between the fiat currency and ETC. If the price fluctuates really fast, if that means they update the amount that you could spend in fiat currency. I'm curious how they manage all that. But it's definitely an interesting thing that's going on. So then you could use this credit card
Mhm.
and never. So can you avoid because I know like Bitcoin has expensive fees to move in and out. The mining fees are very large with Bitcoin. It's not so much with ETC, the mining fees, but I wonder if you still have to pay that. I guess that's smaller than the normal credit card fee. So anyways, I have a lot of
Yeah.
questions, but it sounds like an interesting development.
I have no idea what Centricard themselves charge in order to do the conversion or
Okay.
how they do it exactly, but I do know on ETC right now, if you're doing a simple value transaction and you're paying more than half a penny to a penny in US dollars,
Uh-huh.
you are wasting money. So it's still really cheap to send money over ETC, and I don't actually see that changing anytime soon.
Wait, can you repeat that? What was this about the penny? I want to make sure I get that. Say that again.
It should cost about half a penny to a penny to send ETC in
Oh,
US dollars.
so you're talking about the mining fee.
Yeah, the mining fee.
Oh, so the mining
The
fees.
transaction fee.
Okay, so then as long as you could afford a penny, then anything you want to do with an ETC transaction is doable.
Well, only for sending value. If you want to do the more complicated things that ETC allows you to do, that costs a little more,
Oh,
but it's
yes.
still super cheap.
That's right, because it would take more gas to, for example,
Yeah.
install a new smart contract. Yes, good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so I think that's really cool. Actually, not so funny story, but a relatable story. Maybe like earlier last year
Mhm.
when BTC was first on its run towards, $1,000 or $2,000, I had a small amount of BTC I set aside on one of those types of debit cards.
Okay.
It wasn't Centricard, it was another one. And every time BTC would go up, I would use the profit to like order out food and stuff. So I was ordering free food for a while.
Oh,
It was pretty
cool.
great.
Uh-huh.
Now I wish I had not done that. since that
Right.
BTC would be worth more. But you've got to use it,
Right.
so it's
Right.
good to use a little bit of it.
Right.
But yeah, in some more serious news, we're going to have a hard fork coming up in May in
Okay.
2018. I'm going to preface that with no, you won't get any free coins. I
Okay.
just want to repeat that you will not get free coins. Do not ask me about free coins. It's a hard fork. Hard forks don't necessarily give you free coins, and ideally they don't. They
Right.
shouldn't.
Right.
What it's going to do instead is it's going to disable the difficulty bomb. So that was something that Ethereum had in their code base for a while, and it kind of carried over to ETC.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically this thing to force proof of stake.
Yeah.
Since ETC isn't going proof of stake anytime soon, we don't need it anymore, and we're just going to remove it to make mining a little better and easier on miners.
All right. Now, I'm surprised that that wasn't removed a long time ago in a previous hard fork. I mean, maybe it's for safety reasons. They don't want to try to do too many things at once. But regardless, it's good that they're getting rid of it now. And just what you were saying about just so that for people, if they don't know, so you get the reason or the way that you get free coins in a hard fork is when you end up with two chains.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what they call an airdrop, if I'm not mistaken, when you all of a sudden get coins on both chains.
No, that would be a hard fork. An airdrop's something else. People have invented way too much terminology around this.
Okay. Well, for my benefit, at least, can you describe what an airdrop is? Because I've heard that term.
Oh, an airdrop is when you look at everybody's balances and you give them a that's my cat, by the way, and you give them an equivalent balance on a completely different chain. The difference between an airdrop and a hard fork is a hard fork's going to preserve history.
Okay.
And an airdrop's not. So an airdrop's just kind of like a new bank opens up, decides to go and copy everybody's balances from a competing bank, and then just runs their own bank, and everybody has the same balance.
Okay.
They're different coins, basically.
Okay. So like Callisto, that's the test net, right? So is that an airdrop?
Yeah, Callisto was originally intended to be a test net, and then I wasn't really involved in the conversations about it, but it somehow went and got announced as a full network.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I would classify that as an airdrop because it won't be preserving the ETC history. It's not part of the same chain. It's just duplicating the balances from the ETC chain and recording them as Callisto balances as well.
Okay. Yeah. So they copied over the account information, the balances, but not all of the history, not all of the smart contracts and other things from the ETC blockchain.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm sure glad you know about these things because I can't keep up with absolutely everything. So yes, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, it's complicated. And yeah, so moving on down the list, also kind of related to that, the ETC co-op went and launched a mailing list for hard forks.
Okay.
So one of the things about hard forks is you need to update your software. And if you're like an exchange or a miner or just plain interested, you could sign up to that. So you can visit the etccooperative.org website, and I think you have to click on About, and there's a place to sign up for that mailing list so that this way you're not left in the dark and you can get nice advance notice of a hard fork.
Oh, okay. So for people that want to make sure not to miss any hard fork events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the good thing, though, is that the community has been very good about announcing hard forks all over the subreddit and in lots of different...
we are.
Yeah, so...
We're way better than most.
Yeah, so...
Throwing some slight shade at other communities.
Yeah, so if somebody was negligent, they'd probably still, in spite of themselves, find out about the hard fork, which is a good thing. But nevertheless, it's still good to have an official source where you could make sure you're not missing any.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. All right.
And so one neat little thing that happened last week is Cody Burns, who's very active in our community too. He started making this little bot for Discord called Bridget.
Okay.
And it's really cool if you're a developer or even if you're just looking at transactions and stuff, because you can do things like get the latest block number just with a little command. You could check a balance of a certain account with a little command. It's pretty neat. There's a
Okay.
bunch of stuff that you would do otherwise through either an through a block explorer
Uh-huh.
or that you would do on your command line. You could just
Okay.
open up Discord. So it's like a little bit quicker. So or if you're talking about a specific address or a specific transaction, it's a little bit easier for everybody to see it all at once.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
okay. So he made a bridge between the Discord channel and the blockchain.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you could be in a conversation and you could pull up information without having to go off to a browser somewhere or another website to get. Okay, I see.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually really useful.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, Cody also did the token mint, right, to
The
help with.
token mint.
So he loves to do these little clever little projects on the side to help the community.
Yeah, he did that I think with Elaine.
Okay.
And Cody also did, and now he has a more practical version of it, but he had a IoT flamethrower back over, I think, Halloween.
Uh-huh.
So you could pay a small fee on the Ethereum Classic network to his address, and it would cause the flamethrower to shoot a burst of flame.
Okay.
And so that was pretty neat.
All right. So maybe we should subscribe to his Twitter feed or somehow to find out what all the fun things he's going to do every week to week.
Yeah, a more practical application of that he's been doing, the less fun, is basically a way to monitor plant growth. So kind of get like temperature, soil, dampness, and some other metrics for that are useful for growing plants, and get that off of the blockchain.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
All right. Wait. So it's a smart contract that monitors what plants?
Any plants. It just monitors a bunch of information about temperature and soil and
I see.
other things.
Okay, then so if you don't mind me asking, so how does the blockchain acquire that information? Is there an oracle?
I assume so. I don't actually know because I didn't look that into depth on it. I was doing some other stuff, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I have links too, and I could share a good deal of this with you afterwards, so you can.
All right. If you haven't figured it out, I don't know everything, but I'm great at asking questions about everything.
Yeah, that's great. That's why this works.
All right. So, great. Yes. Okay. So we have that, and what? Anything else for us?
Yeah. Some more exciting stuff coming up, and now since I'm at like the last few set of things, I'm gonna go from probably least exciting to most exciting.
All right.
Should be the way to do it. So anybody who's listening should probably keep listening.
All right.
But yeah, it gets pretty exciting.
Okay.
So I would say least exciting here, even though for me it's pretty exciting because it's my thing. The ETC Co-op's going to be funding a website redesign.
Okay.
And basically the ethereumclassic.org website right now is way out of date. And it needs to be improved. It needs to, one, be more user friendly, to have a lot more information on it, and just be made a lot nicer, a lot more in depth. We probably also need some more in depth documentation and all that fun stuff. So that's all going to be incorporated into it. And yeah, so it's starting. We're probably going to have we don't have anything to look at yet, but at the end of next week, probably on the end of next Friday, we'll have some preview mock-up images for everybody to look at and check out.
Okay, so, good to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
All right.
Then even more exciting is that Sputnik VM by ETC Dev is going to. And these last three things, I'm not even sure what order to put them in, so I'm just kind of reading them off in order. Sputnik VM is going to be using used to manage data that's basically read from satellites. There's this initiative I heard about the other day called Sat1, and they're using Sputnik VM to kind of manage that data and then I believe tie it back into the blockchain. It's all rather new, but it's very cool. It's very exciting, especially when you consider that other blockchains sometimes are like, oh, we're going to put our blockchain in space. You'll be able to query a node from space. Querying a node from space is terrible. It's very slow. And but what they're doing here is it's all ground based, communicating with the satellites, and looks really, really neat. So I'm actually really excited to get some more information about it once it comes out.
Yeah. So is this a company that owns these satellites? Is this a specific application that they have, or? Let
me bring up the article.
Okay.
What it is basically there are a ton of these low Earth orbit satellites.
Okay.
They collect a whole bunch of information, and each of these satellites only talks to basically one location on the planet. So there's all these satellites collecting all this data. I don't know exactly what the data is, but they collect it and then they can't talk to each other. Okay. And so what Sputnik VM is going to do here is basically allow these different stations to communicate with each other.
Okay.
In kind of a blockchain type of way, so that this way there's less division between the data. So, you know, station A right now doesn't have the same data as station B and vice versa, and soon they'll be able to share that data.
Okay, and what kind of data are they collecting, if I may ask?
That I'm not actually sure yet. It's not in the article.
And is this going to be like
it might be in the article, actually. I'm just reading it quickly. I don't understand everything about space. So
okay, is this like a public service that people can query?
That I'm not sure yet. It's very new. It's just that's basically they've released, you know, just a couple little posts. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait for more information on it.
All right, so stay tuned for that. But there's something happening with these satellites in ETC. So
yeah.
All right, good to know.
And so then we also have ETC is going to be the second cryptocurrency to be publicly traded on OTCQX markets later this year. That's right after Bitcoin.
Okay.
I think that's really exciting because on OTCQX currently that Bitcoin fund is the largest traded fund on the exchange.
Okay.
So that's an exchange where people want some access to cryptocurrencies and they don't have that much access. And very soon we'll have an ETC based fund that will give new investors exposure to it.
Yes. Sounds
At least
great.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to see that. It was actually mentioned on CNBC the other night.
Yes, I saw the links to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's really cool. Hopefully that brings some more ETC adoption. And then lastly, and I think most importantly, is Goldman Sachs and a couple other companies have funded Circle Invest, which is kind of a Coinbase competitor. Basically a really easy way to buy some cryptocurrencies. And I now have the beta on my phone.
Okay.
And it's going to support 5 cryptocurrencies, and I will let you guess what one of them will be.
Let me see. Dogecoin.
Yeah, exactly. No. Dogecoin, which is great.
Maybe ETC?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, very cool.
I'm really excited that it's there. Yes. I'm slightly disappointed that they're not available in New York yet, but hopefully soon.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. So very cool. So yes, I would love to see Coinbase get some more competition.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially ones that support ETC. So yes, in my opinion, that's the most exciting news.
Yeah, that when I saw that, I couldn't believe it.
Yes, I like that idea. So and by the way, if my understanding is, so you might wonder why aren't there lots of sites that you could buy cryptocurrency with a credit card? And it's the reason is you have to jump through a lot of hoops. There's know your customer and anti-money laundering laws. You have to, there's all these regulations you have to deal with. And so Coinbase had the funding and the manpower to decide to stick it out and deal with all that.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why you don't have 100 different sites that are like Coinbase. So now if Circle is going to now fight that fight and deal with these regulations to allow people another source where people can buy cryptocurrencies with a credit card, I think that's great. That's huge.
Yeah, and the bank account too.
Right.
I'm not even sure if there's. I don't know about credit cards, but I assume definitely with the bank account. And yeah, it's really cool because right now, when it comes to especially people new to the cryptocurrency space, if they want to obtain some cryptocurrencies, Coinbase is pretty much it.
Right.
Everything else you have to understand how order books work and learn a little bit more about trading, which is always a good thing to learn. But for a lot of people, myself included, Coinbase is like your first stop.
Right.
And to finally have a competitor to that's not only backed by some very big names, but also supporting ETC is just very exciting to me.
Yes, we'll definitely be looking forward to hearing more news about that. Now, I'm amazed. So you said you have the beta already on your phone.
Yeah, you can just go give them your email address, and they'll send you a link to the beta.
Okay, so then they're not messing around. They're not just making announcements and expecting us to wait on, their vaporware forever and ever. They're moving forward.
No, I'm pretty sure if I wasn't in New York, I could buy it right now, but I can't.
Okay, I see.
So I'm not sure if I really don't know. I think you can buy though if you're in a lot of states.
Okay. See, now that goes to what I was saying.
But I can't tell because I'm in New York, and New York has different rules, and it's always been fun to buy cryptocurrencies in New York.
See, that's exactly the point I was making. So what you're saying is New York has even more onerous regulations that are even tripping up Circle. So so hopefully they can eventually make New York happy and get in all states, including New York, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
They said it's coming soon. And I have no doubt that people with that companies with those amounts of resources will be able to do it.
Sure. Yes. Very cool. All right. So I think you've given us a pretty good update on what's going on. Anything else that we need to say or add for this show?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Just a lot of fun stuff happening, a lot of more stuff happening over the next coming weeks, I'm sure. So looking forward to all of it.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. And appreciate it always when you give us these updates, and we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk next month, right? Probably same day.
Yes, that's right. So as long as people will have us, as long as they want to get these updates, which I assume
we'll record them anyway.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
You too. Bye.